Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Lee Min-jae, and today I'm going to be telling you about the Korean Baseball Organization League, or simply the KBO League. The reason I decided to tell you guys about the KBO League is because Korean baseball has become increasingly popular. The Korean national baseball team has won several medals in international baseball tournaments over the past few years. And Korean players like Park Byung-ho, you see here, are playing overseas. So I thought this might be a chance for me to tell you guys more about Korean baseball.
Okay.
Some things that I'm going to talk about are what a Korean baseball league is, and then how does one get to play for a team in the KBO league, and lastly, who are some famous players who played in the KBO league. Now first, what is the KBO league? But before I tell you about the KBO league, I'm going to tell you about what other leagues are like in America and in Japan. Major League Baseball, which is the most popular baseball league in the world, has two leagues, each called the American League and the National League. They both have 15 teams, and teams from different leagues never play against each other, except for the World Series. The NPB, which is the Japanese Pro Baseball League, also has two leagues. Do you know their names? They're the Central League and the Pacific League. Each league has 6 teams, and like with the MLB, teams from different leagues never play against each other unless they make it to the Japan series. And now KBO League was created first in 1982. Back then, it only had these 6 teams. They each named the Samsung Lions, the Lotte Giants, the Haedae Tigers, the OB Bears, Sambi Superstars, and MBC Cheongryong. They're all in one league, meaning one team would play against other 5 teams through the whole season. And as of now, in 2017, there are now a total of
10?
Yes, there are 10 teams. There are the Nexen Heroes, the Samsung Lions, the Doosan Bears, Kia Tigers, SKY Ones, and Lotte Giants, LG Twins, Hanwha Eagles, NC Dinos, and finally KT Wiz. These 10 teams are still in one league, meaning one team would play every other 9 teams through a course of a 144-game regular season. And to put this number into perspective, I brought some numbers from the MLB. It has 162 games, or the NPB, which has a 143-game season. And now, when a team finishes its 144-game KBO League season, they make it to the playoffs. The playoffs have 4 rounds in total. The first one is a wild card. The 5th and 4th team go against each other for 2 games. Then there's the semi-playoffs, then the playoffs, then ultimately the Korean series, where they decide the season winner. And that was the explanation on the KBO League. And second, how does one get to play for the KBO League? Well, if you were a student athlete in high school or college, you would have to enter the KBO draft. The draft is where teams get to pick students, athletes, out of high school or college. The draft has a total of 10 rounds, and there are 10 teams, so each year about 100 players get selected. So in order to enter the draft, one needs to be a college or a high school baseball player. And in order to become a high school baseball player, one needs to be a middle school baseball player. And in order to play for middle school, one needs to be a little league player or an elementary school player. So you can see why it is so hard to become a baseball player in the KBO League. One example of a player who graduated from high school to get drafted is this person. Do you know his name?
이정우.
Yes, his name is Lee Jung-woo. he was drafted by Nexon Heroes in 2016 and graduated from high school in 2017. And now we're going to talk about some famous players who played in the KBO League. There was this amazing pitcher who played in 1982, the first season of the KBO League, and he won 22 straight games as a pitcher. And his name is Park Chol-sun. He wore number 21, which is now retired by the OB Bears or the Doosan Bears, meaning no other player from the Bears would be able to wear number 21. And he also earned the nickname the Phoenix when he came back from several knee and hip injuries. And there were some more great pitchers from the late 80s and 90s. One of them I'm just going to talk about is, you know his name? Yes, his name is Chedon. You can see here his pitching motion. He had a strong arm, really strong arm, so people named him the Iron Arm. He pitched four out of 7 games in the 1984 Korean series. And his number 11 was also retired by the Lotte Giants when he died of cancer in 2011. And when talking about Choi Dong-won, there's also another player that we need to talk about, and that is Son Dong-yeol. He was also a pitcher for the Hette Tigers in the late 80s. He had the lowest ERA in KBO League history, meaning that he almost never gave up runs. His average ERA was 1.2, meaning he would give up about 1.2 runs, only 1.2 runs in every game. And now on to some recent players in the KBO League. One of the top pitchers in the KBO League today is this man. His name is Kim Kwang-hyun. You can see he's a left-handed pitcher. And he led the SK Wyverns to a season championship for 3 years, 2007, 2008, and 2010. There was also another left-handed pitcher who was also like a top pitcher in the KBO League, and he is Yang In-jong. He was the MVP for the 2017 Korean series, as well as the 2017 regular season. So today, we've talked about what the KBO League is in general, how players get drafted to KBO League teams, and who some famous players are. I want you to remember this. These players, their playing, their games, their records, they happened before, but they're still happening now on the field. As we see these players on TV and in baseball fields, we can see these historical moments and beautiful moments on the field. So I really want you guys to maybe get more interested in Korean baseball. And I hope you learned something today from my presentation. And are there any questions? Then thank you.